Hello, and welcome to Boni's Life. Today, we're diving headfirst into the rabbit hole of artificial intelligence, exploring a story that sounds like it's been ripped straight from a sci-fi thriller. We're talking about a secret, ultra-powerful AI model that could be generations ahead of anything we've ever seen. It's a tale of corporate intrigue, technological ambition, and a mystery that has the entire tech world buzzing. The name of this enigma? Zenith. Now, I know what you're thinking. Boni, are you about to start wearing a tinfoil hat? And while I do have a rather fetching one I save for special occasions, this isn't just another internet rumor. This is a story pieced together from whispers in the developer community, anonymous leaks on AI testing platforms, and some very interesting behavior from one of the biggest names in the game, OpenAI. We all know ChatGPT. It's written our emails, helped our kids with their homework, and maybe even given us a recipe or two for dinner. But what if the version of this technology we're all using is just the tip of the iceberg? What if behind the scenes a far more advanced intelligence is quietly being developed? An AI so powerful it makes the current generation look like a child's toy. In this episode, we are decoding ChatGPT Zenith. We'll unravel what we know about this mysterious model, explore the evidence that suggests OpenAI is playing a game of 3D chess with the entire world, and hear from some of the brightest minds in technology, finance, and regulation. We're going to look at what this means for the future of AI, for the financial markets, and for you. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and prepare to have your mind blown. This is one you won't want to miss. Let's get into it. All right, let's start with the million-dollar question. What exactly is ChatGPT Zenith? Well, the simple answer is we don't officially know, and that's precisely what makes this so fascinating. Zenith isn't a product that OpenAI has announced with a flashy press release. It's a ghost in the machine, a name that has surfaced in the shadowy corners of the internet where AI developers and enthusiasts gather. Think of it like a secret agent in a spy movie. You hear whispers of their exploits, you see the results of their work, but they themselves remain officially unacknowledged. The story of Zenith began to gain traction when a new, unidentified AI model started appearing on a platform called the Large Model Systems LMSYS chatbot arena. This is a place where new AIs are put to the test, often anonymously, to see how they stack up against existing models. And this new model, codenamed Zenith, was, to put it mildly, wiping the floor with the competition. The performance was so impressive that it immediately sparked speculation. Who was behind this mystery model? The clues started to point towards OpenAI. For one, the way Zenith thought, its response patterns, its tokenization process, which is how an AI breaks down language, was remarkably similar to OpenAI's known models like GPT-4. Some developers even claim to have confirmed that Zenith was using the same tokenizer as GPT-4 or OpenAI's latest public model. It's like finding a specific type of bullet casing at a crime scene that only one particular agency uses. It's not definitive proof, but it's a very strong lead. But the plot thickens. It wasn't just Zenith. A whole constellation of mysterious new models started appearing, with equally intriguing names. Summit, Lobster, Starfish, Nectarine. It was like a secret menu at your favorite restaurant, and only a select few knew how to order. The theory that emerged was that we were witnessing the assembly of GPT-5 in real time, with these different models being components or test versions of the final product. But here's where the story takes a turn. The model that was eventually released to the public as GPT-5, while impressive, didn't quite live up to the hype that Zenith had generated. This led to a bombshell of a theory, one that has been gaining traction ever since. The theory is that the GPT-5 we all have access to is not the true cutting-edge model. It's a powerful but ultimately inferior version that OpenAI has deliberately released to the public. The real crown jewel, the true next-generation AI, is Zenith. And Zenith, so the theory goes, is being kept under wraps, a secret weapon in OpenAI's arsenal. This isn't just wild speculation from Reddit forums, though that's certainly where a lot of the discussion is happening. The theory has been given weight by a YouTube video from a channel called Julia McCoy, which laid out the case for what it called the GPT-5 deception. The video, which has racked up thousands of views, claims that the public GPT-5 is actually an internal project called Horizon or Verizon, and that Zenith is a far superior model that OpenAI is using internally to develop GPT-6 and beyond. The video's narrator puts it this way: while competitors race to match their second-best technology, OpenAI is accelerating its progress toward artificial general intelligence, AGI. In secret, it's a strategy that, if true, is both brilliant and slightly terrifying. It's like a magician showing you a card trick with their right hand, while their left hand is secretly solving a Rubik's Cube in their pocket. And what about OpenAI themselves? Well, they've been predictably tight-lipped. When asked about Zenith, they've given the kind of non-committal, corporate-speak answers that only fuel more speculation. But the silence from the company, combined with the mounting evidence from the developer community, has created a perfect storm of intrigue. It's a mystery that has everyone asking, what is OpenAI really up to? And what is the true power of ChatGPT Zenith? So we have this tantalizing conspiracy, this idea that OpenAI is playing a high-stakes game of hide-and-seek with its most advanced technology. But what do the experts think? Are we all just getting carried away by a good story? Or is there real fire behind this smoke? To answer that, we need to turn to the people who live and breathe this stuff every day: the developers, the traders, the regulators, and the economists. Let's start with the developers, the digital architects who are building our AI-powered future. For them, the Zenith theory isn't just a juicy piece of gossip, it's a fascinating strategic puzzle. The idea of a company intentionally holding back its best technology might seem counterintuitive in the hyper-competitive world of AI, but from a long-term perspective, it could be a stroke of genius. Think about it. The AI industry is in a frantic race to the top. Companies like Google, Meta, and Anthropic are pouring billions of dollars into developing their own large language models, all trying to catch up to or surpass OpenAI. But if OpenAI is only showing them their second best hand, then everyone else is essentially running a race they can't win. They're chasing a ghost. By the time they catch up to what they think is the finish line, the public GPT-5, OpenAI using Zenith internally could already be 2 or 3 generations ahead, working on GPT-6 or even GPT-7. This is what the YouTube channel Julia McCoy referred to as 3D chess. It's a strategy of such long-term thinking that it's almost poetic, and it's a strategy that has some developers both impressed and a little unnerved. We're seeing a shift from a sprint to a marathon, where the ultimate prize isn't just the next product cycle, but the achievement of artificial general intelligence, or AGI. And what about the financial markets? Well, as you can imagine, the traders are having a field day with this. The financial world is already being transformed by AI, with algorithmic trading becoming the norm. As the University of Michigan's MJE publication put it, AI and machine learning in financial markets refer to technologies that use complex algorithms to process large data sets and identify. Well, you get the picture. It's about speed, efficiency, and finding an edge. Now, imagine what a secret, super powerful AI like Zenith could do in that environment. The potential for new trading strategies, for predictive analytics that are light years ahead of the competition, is staggering. We're talking about an AI that could analyze market trends, news sentiment, and economic data with a level of sophistication that would make even the most seasoned Wall Street veterans look like they're trading with an abacus. But with great power comes great volatility. The International Monetary Fund, the IMF, has warned that as AI increases the ability of markets to move quickly, the speed and size of price moves may exceed what was previously imaginable. We could see flash crashes and market swings of a magnitude we've never experienced before, all driven by the decisions of an AI that most of us don't even know exists. And it's not just about the stock market, the implications for the broader economy are huge. AI-powered automation is already streamlining everything from loan processing to fraud detection. A model like Zenith could accelerate that trend exponentially. But it also raises some serious questions about job displacement and economic inequality. If a handful of companies have access to this kind of technology, what does that mean for everyone else? The idea of a secret, all-powerful AI is enough to make anyone a little nervous. And it's not just us. The people whose job it is to worry about this stuff, the regulators and the economists, are paying very close attention. For them, the Zenith story isn't just a tech drama. It's a flashing red light on the dashboard of the global economy. Let's start with the regulators. The question of how to govern AI is one of the most pressing challenges of our time. It's a delicate balancing act. On the one hand, you don't want to stifle innovation with heavy-handed rules. On the other hand, you can't just let this technology run wild without any guardrails. As a recent article in The Economist put it, different countries are taking different approaches to regulating artificial intelligence. The European Union, for example, is taking a very comprehensive, risk-based approach with its AI Act. The United States, in contrast, has been a bit more hands-off, preferring to let the industry self-regulate to a large extent. But the Zenith situation throws a wrench in all of that. How can you regulate something you don't even know exists? If a company like OpenAI is operating a secret, super advanced AI, it's essentially operating outside of any regulatory framework we can currently imagine. This is a huge concern for financial regulators. The Financial Stability Board, an international body that monitors the global financial system, has warned about the potential for AI to create new forms of systemic risk. They're worried about things like biased or flawed AI model results, data breaches, cyber attacks, and fraud, as the OECD has also pointed out. Now, imagine those risks amplified by an AI that is orders of magnitude more powerful than anything we've seen before. It's a recipe for potential disaster. And it's not just about financial stability. There are also serious concerns about market abuse. An AI like Zenith could be used to manipulate markets, to spread misinformation, or to engage in a new, high-tech form of insider trading. The law firm Sidley Austin has written about the challenges that advanced AI systems present and the potential for them to create new forms of market instability. Now let's turn to the economists. For them, the Zenith story is a fascinating case study in the economics of innovation and disruption. The potential for AI to boost productivity and economic growth is enormous. As Sam Altman himself has said, in the 2030s, intelligence and energy are going to become wildly abundant. That's a very exciting prospect. It could lead to a new era of prosperity, with new industries, new jobs, and a higher quality of life for everyone. But there's a flip side to that coin. The history of technological revolutions is also a history of disruption and inequality. The Industrial Revolution, for all its benefits, also led to widespread social upheaval, and there are fears that the AI revolution could do the same, but on a much larger and faster scale. The concern is that the benefits of AI will be concentrated in the hands of a few, while the costs will be borne by the many. If a handful of companies have access to a secret AI like Zenith, they could gain an insurmountable competitive advantage, creating a new class of super monopolies. This could lead to a world where a small group of tech elites control the means of production, while the rest of us are left to scramble for the scraps. This is a future that has some economists very worried. They are calling for new policies to ensure that the benefits of AI are shared more broadly. This could include things like a universal basic income, new forms of education and training, and a progressive tax system that redistributes the wealth generated by AI. But these are all long-term solutions. In the short term, the Zenith story highlights the urgent need for more transparency and accountability in the AI industry. We need to know what these companies are building, what they're capable of, and what they're planning to do with this incredible power. Because without that transparency, we're all just flying blind into a future that is being shaped by forces we don't even understand. So, where does that leave us? We're standing at a crossroads, looking at a future that is both incredibly exciting and deeply unsettling. The story of ChatGPT Zenith is more than just a tech mystery. It's a parable for our times. It's a story about the nature of power, the ethics of innovation, and the choices we need to make as we enter this new age of artificial intelligence. On the one hand, we have the promise of a future where intelligence is abundant, where we can solve some of humanity's most pressing problems, from climate change to disease. This is the future that Sam Altman and the other visionaries of Silicon Valley are painting for us, a future where AI is a benevolent force for good. a tool that will amplify our own creativity and ingenuity. But on the other hand, we have the fear of a future where power is concentrated in the hands of a few, where our lives are controlled by algorithms we don't understand, and where the very definition of what it means to be human is called into question. This is the dystopian future that has been the stuff of science fiction for decades, a future that suddenly feels a lot closer than we ever imagined. The truth is, no one knows for sure which of these futures we are heading towards. The story of Zenith is a reminder that we are in uncharted territory. We are building something that we don't fully understand, and we are doing it at a speed that is both exhilarating and terrifying. So, what can we do? Well, for starters, we can demand more transparency. We need to have a public conversation about the future of AI, a conversation that includes not just the tech elites, but all of us. We need to ask the tough questions, and we need to demand honest answers. We also need to be more critical consumers of this technology. We need to understand how it works, what its limitations are, and what its potential dangers are. We can't just blindly accept the latest and greatest AI without thinking about the consequences. And finally, we need to remember that technology is a tool. It's not inherently good or bad. It's what we do with it that matters. We have the power to shape the future of AI, to ensure that it is a future that benefits all of humanity, not just a select few. The story of ChatGPT Zenith is a wake-up call. It's a reminder that the future is not something that just happens to us, it's something that we create. And the choices we make today will determine the world we live in tomorrow. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the world of AI. I hope it's given you something to think about. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think the Zenith theory is credible? What do you think the future of AI holds? Let me know. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. Until then, stay curious, stay informed, and I'll see you next time on Boni's Life.